Good morning. We have some empty seats up here, so please fill in if you're here. And we got seating all in here. Please take a seat. Come on, fill them up. Especially the ladies, you can bring your husbands with you. And if anybody needs any special seating, hey, roll right up front. That'll be fine also. Well, half of the town of Garner, welcome to Memorial Day. And this is the fourth year that we've had it, that it rained, then it quit, then it started back raining again. So I talked to a friend of mine. He says he hopes to go to heaven. He's going to speak to the angels in charge of weather when he gets up there and have a few words. And I said, you better be careful. Get in first. So I'm Phil Matthews, City Councilman. If you got one of these, I hope everybody got one. It's been my pleasure to MC these events each year, and it's truly an honor. And it's an honor to have all of y'all here this morning. A lot of veterans, families of veterans, and it's just a pleasure to have you here. And thank you so very much. If you will join me, I like to start this event with a prayer, and we'll take it from there. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day, Lord, as we remember those who made the supreme sacrifice that we could all be here today, enjoy the freedoms we have, enjoy this big park. And Lord, thank you for this beautiful memorial behind me that has the names of so many on it, those that paid the supreme sacrifice. And those on the bricks out there, that some paid the price, some are still alive, and we bless them too, Lord, and bless this memorial as we do it. Lord, we just pray for our country. We pray for our military that's overseas, Lord, and prepared to do what they need to do. Bring them home safe, I pray. And Lord, just we give you the praise and the glory for this wonderful event we have the pleasure of being here at today. And all of God's children said, Amen. Thank you. A lot of people say, what's the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day? Glad you asked. Memorial Day is where we remember those that paid the supreme sacrifice for the freedoms that we enjoy out here today. Veterans Day is when another event we'll have later on where we honor the veterans, those that are still alive, and plus we do that one still remember those that paid the supreme sacrifice. That's the big event. And also, I'd like to mention the Garner History Museum, which is located uptown Garner, right on the main street. If you drove through there, you'll see a caboose up there. It's the building behind it. And they're going to be open today from 10:30 to 12:30. They have all of the mementos that was left by the Vietnam Wall, the hills we had out here a couple of years ago, and a nice display up there. And you're more than welcome to go by and see those. There were a lot of events, and that was a great opportunity. I'll be remiss if I didn't thank this gentleman to my left, Mr. Tim Stevens, for making that happen. We're going to try to get him to bring it back again, and he said it required very little work, and he'll be glad to help us with that. But we had so many volunteers step up to the plate. It was unbelievable. And the report on that wall from the committee and all said Garner had the best turnout. We had over 150 motorcycles escort the wall in on that day. And I had the pleasure of riding one, and I did not fall coming in. A couple of close calls, but it was a great time. All right. Now I'm going to introduce a gentleman that probably don't need no introduction unless you live outside of Garner. And he is a very good friend of mine and everybody's. He's a very strong leader for our town, and he takes his job very, very seriously. And it gives me a great opportunity to introduce the mayor of Garner, the Honorable Buddy Gupton.
Good morning, Garner. That's, oh man, enthusiasm. I can feel it. This is a very solemn occasion, but it's a very joyous occasion, too, that we get together and celebrate and thank the people who went before us to make America the great place that it is today. I have a little bit of business I have to take care of first. I want to introduce some of the people who helped make this possible, particularly our elected officials who get a whole lot of grief but don't get a whole lot of support, but we're going to recognize them today. At the top of the list is our good longtime friend, Deborah Ross, our congresswoman from our district here. She has been a supporter of Garner for a long time. Thank you. She got the flag and the military red shirt also, man. You got it all going on. I also like to to mention our town council who has worked hard. We have our Mayor Pro Tem, Damian Dellinger. We have Kelvin Stallings. We have Grace Singleton. Let's see, we have Elmo Vance right up here. And did I miss anybody on that list? Oh, Phil Matthews right here. Oh, yeah, he's right there. Yeah, we got him. Well, that's good. That's right. Big hand. And representing the people who really did the hard work, that's our public works, our park and recreation people, all the people who put that together. They're all members of the team with our town manager, Jody Miller over here. Jody, if you would give us the parade wave, please. The parade wave. Thank you. Okay. And I just want to double down on what Phil said about going by the museum at the depot. Don't miss a chance to see it. It's another great experience. They'll be open from 10:30 to 12:30. Meet some of your friends there. I have a very short message and one request. And my short message is about things that bring us together versus things that drive us apart. And looking at this memorial is a perfect picture of a thing that brought us all together. Back in 2013, this was dedicated, and it was a result of a number of people and different organizations coming together. We will never forget Miss Faye Gardner, our community leader, not a veteran, but a leader here, and our veteran leader, Spencer Cardwell. They did a great job. The design was done by a Garner resident, Mong Pin Yu. And you can tell how fantastically this thing turned out. That's something that brings us together. Phil mentioned another memorial that we had just a few years ago, the Wall That Heals. Unfortunately, it turned out to be the wall that healed, and it needed to be. That was a memorial that divided us to start with. There was controversy. There were people who didn't like the design, this and that. But over time, it is clearly proven to be something that brought us all together. We need to focus on these things. Even the wars that are memorialized here today, America's wars to stay free, some of those brought us together. I like to think back before my time to World War I. I came in on the tail end of World War II in my lifetime. That seemed to unite everybody against a common enemy. We need to keep focusing on those things. We've seen some wars that tore us apart. We saw Vietnam. It started out together, and then it divided into us and them and for and against. People say this is some of the most divisive times that we've ever been through in our country, but they seem to have forgotten about that little thing they called a civil war a little over 100 years ago. Almost 700,000 of our neighbors and friends were killed by each other. Over 500,000 people killed. That was a divisive time. But over time, we have pulled back together. Time heals all things, apparently. Sometimes it's a long time. But this is what we're here today to talk about. The request that I'd like to make is look for things that we have in common. Let's focus on them. Let's build on them to help us all move forward. And let's admit our differences. We do have differences. In fact, I guarantee you that there's not any two of us that couldn't sit down for 15 minutes and find things that we have in common, and we could find things we disagree on. Look to your left, look to your right. Yeah, even look to your spouse. Some things you can agree on, some things you don't agree on, but we work through these things. We have to focus on the things that bring us together. And I do want to ask one more pop quiz here. How many of you were actively in the military? If you would, raise your hands high and proud. Actively in the military service. Thank you. Thank you. Big applause there. How many of you had friends, neighbors, and relatives who were in the military service? Raise your hand high. Virtually everybody here. How many of you actually lost a friend or neighbor in the wars? Raise your hands. Thank you. That's what brings us together. We have to focus on the things that bring us together. And this has to be a conscious decision that you make every day. Are we going to look for the things that bring us together, or are we going to focus on the things that drive us apart? You have to make this decision. My request to you is please be a fountain, not a drain. Look for the things that bring us together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Gupton, and better words could never have been said, sir. Thank you. All right, as we move along with our program here, and it's at a very special time, and if you are able to stand, if not, that's quite all right, as we present our colors, followed by our national anthem, and So please stand, and Hannah will be pronouncing our national anthem.
Detail, halt. Left, face. Preset, arms.
And now our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, arms. Right, face. Forward, march.
You may be seated. How about a hand for Hannah Quinlivan? She does a fabulous job. Yes. I think we told her last year, you got a permanent booking out here. It's great to see somebody young with a voice like that. It's committed and with such talent. You're going to go a long ways, there's no doubt. And I know your mom's proud of you. All right, thank you. And now, I want to introduce some special guests here. And if y'all don't mind, believe it or not, I've aged up a little bit where I have to put my glasses on, and these things happen in life. And some special guests we got here. And we got everybody's a special guest here. We got some that we do want to introduce. And first of all, if you would stand when I introduce you, Mr. Johnny Holland, the Vice President, Chapter Board of Directors for Paralyzed Veterans of America. There he is right over here. And their mission is to ensure that every veteran of every age, every branch, and every conflict regain what they fought for, their freedom and independence. And on March 26th, they presented an all-terrain vehicle wheelchair out here to Army Green Beret Sergeant First Class Eddie Kim. And some of y'all might have been out here. It was a great day here at our Veterans Memorial, and it was a special day. Thank you. Next, Edward Beard, North Carolina VFW Commander. Whose mission is to foster camaraderie among United States veterans of overseas conflicts, to serve our veterans, the military, and communities, and advocate on behalf of our veterans, ensuring that veterans are respected for their service, recognized for the sacrifice, and the loved ones they have made on behalf of our great country. Also, Mr. Lee Johnson, District 2 Vice Commander of the American Legion. And I can ditto those other remarks because they do the same thing working for them too. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so very much. And now as we move on, It gives me great pleasure to introduce a gentleman. I mentioned his name earlier, and he's going to do a very, very special presentation. It's one of the reasons we're out here today. And if it's anything to do with what's going on, he brings it to Garner. If it's anything military, he brings it to Garner. And he's a very fine gentleman, and you'll see and hear a lot about him. But he's got a very special presentation to do today. It gives me great pleasure to introduce my friend and friend of all the military, Mr. Tim Stevens.
I want to speak for just a few minutes in honor of the 68 men from our community who are memorialized here at the Garner Veterans Memorial. Our first losses came in the Civil War, and our most recent losses came during the Global War on Terror. We had men and boys there: Gettysburg, Normandy, Ramadi, Way, Okinawa, Bataan, Korea, and every other battlefield you can think of in the world. They died beneath the seas, on the beaches, in dense jungles, and on mountaintops. Their lives were taken in airplanes, submarines, warships, Humvees, and lying on the ground beside their comrades at arms. Many of their remains never came home. In some cases, there were no remains. But their stories live on here at this place, and it's carried by friends and neighbors and family. And so we need to stop for just a moment in remembrance. And by remembering one, we're going to honor all. Enrique Sanchez knew this park, although he never saw that memorial. Henry had wanted to be a Marine since he was 11 years old. And it was on these paths that run around this park that his dream took place. That dream became a reality while he was here at this park. After graduating from Garner Magnet High School, Sanchez came here, a solitary young man running these trails wearing an 80-pound pack. He lost 152 pounds as he prepared to earn the title United States Marine. He deployed to Haiti in 2004 and Fallujah in 2005. And as he prepared to return to the Middle East in 2006, he pulled his young loved ones together and said that he went to fight so they would not have to. And he told them he's willing to die to keep freedom for the people that he loved. On June 6, 2006, in Ramadi, an insurgent fired rocket-propelled grenade skipped off the ground and exploded underneath his Humvee. The fuel tank ignited. As the vehicle came under small arm fire, Sanchez climbed up into the turret and began return fire. With flames rising above him, around him, he continued engaging the enemy, delivering accurate fire that allowed all the other Marines in the Humvee to escape. He kept firing, even as the fire blazed around him, and he silenced 2 enemy positions. He fired until all his ammunition was gone. Then he stopped and received treatment for his injuries. For his actions that day, he received the Bronze Star with Valor. Just a few weeks later, on July 27th, 2006, Lance Corporal Sanchez was killed when an explosive device detonated beneath his Humvee in the Anbar Province. He was 21 years old. Just 21. He's buried at Mont Long Memorial Park and he's remembered here at our memorial. It was his sacrifice that helped inspire the creation of this park. If you walk the trail, there's a little memorial down underneath that tree that was erected in his honor. And that was the beginning of the thoughts that we needed to create a Veterans Memorial. As one of his comrades said at his memorial service at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, some men search their whole lives for greatness and never find it. But at age 21, Henry found much more than greatness. His memory is with us always. So today we remember his courage and the courage of all of those who gave their lives in pursuit of freedom. They are remembered and they are honored here. And we will always remember them and honor them.
Thank you, Tim. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today. And had a chance to meet him a little bit earlier, but you read his bio. I could spend half a day up here talking about his accomplishments, but he is well qualified for the position that he holds with the state government, especially the Department of Veterans Affairs and General Counsel. And but I'm so glad he could be out here today and join us on this special occasion. And he's always got a standing invitation for him and his wife to come back year after year. So please make welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Jimmy Bellamy. Jimmy?
Thank you. So good morning. And so thank you all for having me, to Congresswoman Ross, Mayor Gupton, council members, to Mr. Johnny Holland, State Commander Beard, Mr. Lee Johnson, to our veterans, to our service members, and most importantly, to our Gold Star families and friends who are gathered here. Let me say that it is truly an honor and a privilege to be here and to commemorate the lives of our fallen heroes on this very day. So, at a time when so much in our country competes for our attention, when the noise is constant, the distractions are endless, and it seems like the demands of the day rarely seem to slow down, there are days like today and moments like this, days that quiet us, moments that humble us, and the memories of sacrifice that remind us of the very best of who we are. And so, on today, and in this moment, we remember our fallen heroes, the ones who gave everything so that, in the words of President Lincoln, so that this nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We remember the men and women who gave everything so that the promise of America, the essence of America, and the ideal of America will live on. But days like today, they just aren't meant to quiet us. They are meant to bring us face to face with the true cost of freedom. Because if we're honest, we know that the true cost of freedom has never been measured just only in the battles fought, the wars won, or even in the monuments that we have to remember those events. The true cost of freedom has always been, and it will always be, measured in American lives, measured in the lives of sons and daughters from towns just like this one, measured in the lives of moms and dads in the middle of raising young families, measured in the lives of our neighbors and in our friends from communities just like this one, from the towns we grew up in, the churches that we attended together. The true cost of freedom has always been measured in the men and women who've answered a call far greater than themselves. And for far too many of them, they never made it home. And so that willingness, that courage, that sacrifice, those things have echoed through every generation of America. Whenever and whenever Americans have been called to serve. From the American Revolution through the Civil War, through the World Wars, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, and everything in between. Different uniforms, different generations, different battles, different times, but the same duty, the same sacred oath. Memorial Day isn't just about the battles, though. As we know, Memorial Day is about that knock that changes a family's life forever. It's about the birthdays missed, the graduations not seen, the phone calls that don't come anymore. It's about the walks down the wedding aisles that'll never be had. Because we know that when a service member falls, when one of our heroes falls, that sacrifice is carried by our entire family and communities too. So our Gold Star families remind us of the cost of freedom. They remind us that it doesn't just end on the battlefield. The cost of freedom is carried for a lifetime. And today we honor them too. And so if there are any Gold Star families here, could you please raise your hands? And let's provide that support to you. And so, as we remember those who gave everything, let us reflect on what they truly gave their lives for. It wasn't for comfort. It wasn't for convenience. It wasn't for some novel idea. It was for a cause much greater than themselves. So great that they would willingly give their lives for it. It was for freedom. It was for democracy. And it was for the enduring belief that liberty is worth defending, American values are worth protecting, and that a free people have both the responsibility and the right to govern themselves. So this is what they defended. This is what they preserved. This is what they passed on to us. And this is what they made the ultimate sacrifice for. And so maybe that message matters now more than ever. Because if we're honest, we live in a time where distraction is easy. Outrage is easy. It's so easy to be critical. We live in a time where everybody wants more attention, more entitlement, more convenience, more comfort. But I think Memorial Day reminds us of something different. It reminds us that the greatness of America was not built by people asking for more. The greatness of this nation, our country, was built by people willing to give more. To give more service, to give more sacrifice, to give more commitment to one another. And that's what made us strong, and that's what's going to keep us strong. And so even in our divided times, distracted times, days like today remind us of something powerful. That there is more that unites us than divides us. Duty, honor, courage, freedom, liberty, the essence of America. These values don't belong to one political party. They don't belong to one generation. They don't belong to one class. They belong to all of us, the American people. And maybe that's the quiet power, the quiet hope of today. In a loud and often divided world, it reminds us that there are still some things far greater than ourselves that can unite us. And so today, as we stand amongst the flags and as we bow our heads in prayer, and as we reflect in our hearts and remember our fallen heroes, and as we conclude this ceremony on today, let us not leave the values that unite us here. Let us carry them with us. Carry them into our communities. Carry those values into our families. Carry those values into our homes. And carry them so that freedom will stand. Carry them so that our democracy will stand. And carry them so that the very best of who we are as Americans will live on. And so may God bless our fallen heroes and their families. May God bless our service members and those who have served. And may we never forget the true cost of freedom. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Bellamy. Great words, and you got a standing invitation to come back year after year also. We do that to people we like, by the way. Well, the rain tried to get us again out there. Well, as I told some Vietnam buddies of mine, I said, well, it's kind of like it's monsoon and it's warm. So it'll rain and the sun will come out, and it'll rain and the sun will come out. So welcome to our world. But again, thank you again for that. As we move on, it's an important time now as we get ready for our wreath laying ceremony. And I want to thank VFW Post 10225 and American Legion Post 232 for extending this honor. And for those of you that are familiar with our memorial out here, you can see now we have two new flag posts posted, one on each side of the American flag. One is going to be for the North Carolina flag, and one will be for the far as the MIAs and those have not returned, symbolizing we're still waiting on them. We're now going to raise those flags to the top, and they will remain flying. They'll be lit up at night. It's a permanent part of our fixture, and I want to thank those involved, especially Public Works, for getting those flag poles in and getting everything ready, and we appreciate that. And now we're going to raise those flags. Please be seated. As we wind down, and I don't think the Boy Scouts, there's a lot of Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts out here for our event. They help us out every year, and they play taps. It's not recorded. It's the real thing. We'd have it no other way. And for next year, I've done talk with Parks and Rec's director and the mayor and our town manager and everybody else involved. We're going to double the tents next year. It's going to be such a big occasion. We know it's going to rain, so, and we might even have refreshments over here. Who knows? But we're going to make it. It's going to get bigger and better. But certainly want to thank a lot of people. And there's two young ladies that work hard out here. One is my right arm always killed, and Shelby. She's running around somewhere over here. There she is, and Kathy over here, and they keep us going. And special thanks to the Town of Garner, our Veterans Advisory Committee. And if you would like to serve on the Veterans Advisory Committee, you live in Garner, you please see John. He's running around here somewhere. We'll hook you up and let you come on board and be a part of this. It's a working committee. We get things done. Also, the American Legion Post 282, VFW Post 102-225, BSA Troop 320 out there, BSA Troop 391, Pack 10 of the Cub Scouts, and all program participants. And we've got a big event coming up in June. And Tim, would you like to tell us about it? It's going to be down here at the Historic Auditorium down here.
On June 26th, we have the 82nd Airborne Division All-American Chorus and Band. You may have seen the chorus. They got to the finals of America's Got Talent. Same group, except they're bringing the band with them. Instead of a program of about 20-25 minutes, it's probably going to be an hour and a half. And they're doing a special 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army and the United States. And so they're going to be telling stories and singing songs, and it's going to be one of the most remarkable events we've had in Garner. You cannot buy a ticket, but you need a ticket. Tickets are free. Just go to GarnerPerformingArtsCenter.com. You have to have a ticket to get in, but they are free, and it should be one of the most remarkable events that we've had in Garner.
All right. Thank you, Tim. I told you he got things done. So and go online and get those tickets, because they're going to go fast. I can assure you those guys are fabulous. Well, as I look at my notes here, just to make sure I didn't forget anything, last year I almost forgot taps, and I got a gentle nudge this year to highlight it in yellow, which I did. And but thank you again for coming out and being a part of our Memorial Day service. The rain now is lightened up, and we do invite you to go uptown to the historical building up there and see those things left over from the wall that hills. I think you will really enjoy seeing that and take the kids up there. And thank you for bringing the young people out here. You know, it's going to be their world one day, and we'll be sitting out there watching them up here do all of this again. So on behalf of the Town of Garner, it's been my pleasure to be your master of ceremonies again this year. Have a great weekend as we remember those who paid the supreme sacrifice. Be with your family. Let them know how much you love them. God bless you. Have a great afternoon.